9 of their games this season. They'll make it 10 for 10. It's Sayre Brandstetter, 5'8 junior from Springfield, New Jersey. Whitney Hopson, 5'4 senior from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Christina Harrell, 5'9 senior from Clinton, New Jersey. Morgan McCullough, 5'11 junior from Allendale, New Jersey. And Renee Alquiza, 6' senior from Cornelius, North Carolina. Battle again for this Roanoke team trying to rebound from the game against Elizabethtown. The 8-0 start for the Maroons matched their best in program history. Back in 2008-09, the Maroons won their first 8, lost their 9th, but won 23 games that season. Under the namesake of this tournament, Susan Dunnigan, the Hall of Famer, who won over 600 career games, 13 ODAC titles, made 11 NCAA tournament appearances. But Christopher Newport, the numbers are eye-popping. They average almost 93 points per game, even with the relatively narrow 9-point win against Lynchburg yesterday. Their average margin of victory is 41. They force a ton of turnovers, get a lot of easy baskets. If you do not take care of the basketball against the Captains, you are in for a long, long night. But Lynchburg challenged CNU. We'll see if the other team that played in last year's ODAC championship game can do the same here. As we get underway momentarily, Lynchburg and Elizabethtown will be the second game tonight at 7 o'clock as the Blue Jays try to build off their win over the Maroons, and the Hornets look to rebound after really testing this undefeated CNU squad. Jersey swap here on day 2 of the tournament. Christopher Newport will be in the home white, Roanoke wearing black. Final game of the calendar year for both teams. The Maroons will be back here Sunday to face Hood, and CNU in the middle of a long road trip to go to Mary Baldwin on Tuesday. Alquiza, Terwilliger jumping up as we get underway. And again, these teams have not played a regular season contest in 7 years, hard to believe. CNU always has a lot of ODAC teams on the schedule. This is the 4th squad from the Maroons Conference that they faced this year. Terwilliger contested miss down low. And Hopson will run the floor for the Maroons. Renee Alquiza away to Sayre Brandstetter, open look at 3, and it's good. Had some great looks yesterday and could not knock him down, but Brandstetter gets the Maroons off to a great start in this contest. At the other end, it's Sandra Fan, the leading scorer for CNU at 16.3 per game. Gets to the rim, misses. And the rebound knocked out front will be grabbed by the point guard, Gabby Sandiego, as we welcome in the second member of our broadcast crew, our head of athletic communications here at Roanoke, Richie Wagner. See some physical play early on. Have to match the intensity that you know Christopher Newport is going to bring on defense, and the Maroons have done that on the first couple of possessions.
Well, and that's what they got to do, but you got to do it for 40 minutes. I mean, that's the calling card of Christopher Newport, and Coach Broderick, that's what his style is. He's going to, to borrow a phrase from back in the 90s, the 40 minutes of hell that they used to have at Arkansas, where you're just going to go out, you're going to press, you're going to be physical, everything's going to be contested. And what we saw yesterday was when Elizabethtown got a little bit physical with Roanoke, they backed down a little bit. That 15-0 run did in the Maroons, but it's really nice to see Sayre Brandstetter knock down that 3. She took good shots yesterday, couldn't get one to fall, but to get her back in the scoring fold is huge for the Maroons.
Roanoke also needs Christina Harrell to stay on the floor and be a big factor. She got in early foul trouble against E-Town and never really worked her way back in the game. McAuliffe, the miss down low. Here comes Fan for CNU.
Yeah, she needed to slow down right there. Did a good job, did Morgan, getting around Terwilliger. No way Terwilliger can guard her out on the high post like that. She drove around. She needs to come to a jump stop and lay it off the glass with the left hand.
Sandiego ahead to Simmons. Attacking from the right elbow and lost control. Well defended by Alquiza. Numbers for the Maroons. Brandstetter leading the break. Terwilliger with the rejection.
Yeah, everybody likes the block shot. That's fine. It's still Roanoke college basketball underneath their own basket. You've got to lead. Defensively, that's what you've got to do. Christopher Newport, not only do they commit a lot of contact and on the defensive end, the offensive end, they try and lean into you and draw those fouls, get to the free throw line. And that time, Alquiza did a great job holding her ground straight up, caused the turnover.
Renee Alquiza, one of 3 Maroons averaging double figures, just over 11 per game. Harrell leads Roanoke at 12.1. She'll drive in and score.
And right now, you called it earlier. If Christina can stay out of foul trouble, she has that dimension of being able to attack the rim, and I really don't think that Christopher Newport has an answer.
Captains wanted to foul contact on Simmons, but CNU recovers the ball. Simmons gets it back. Around it comes. Terwilliger has 3-point range, but off target there. McInnes, the offensive board, and she'll score the first points for Christopher Newport.
And there's the part of the game that kind of gets overlooked. You've got to box out. Here's a breakaway. You're able to do that. If they can't step to the pressure, you can attack quickly. But you've got to box out this Christopher Newport team. All 5 players always going to that offensive glass because they know they're going to press you right away. Nobody gets back.
McInnes, I believe, stepped on the sideline. So what a start here for Roanoke, a 7-2 lead, less than 3 minutes in.
And I can't imagine McInnes, excellent outside shooter, is going to struggle the way she did yesterday. Made just 1 3-pointer on double-digit attempts. And there's Roanoke in transition again. Another block shot, but no big deal. Allows you to set up your out-of-bounds play. But it's a good sign right now in what you're seeing. And when Lynchburg stuck around, and especially in the first half yesterday against Christopher Newport, it was all because they attacked that pressure and got easy layups in transition.
Early sub for the captains. Julia Ing replaces Terwilliger. This is Brandstatter driving in on Simmons. Not able to score around the former CAC Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. Simmons on the arm. And if they're not going to call that, really advantage Roanoke, because if the Roanoke starters can stay out of foul trouble and stay on the floor, I think they can break this pressure.
San Diego averaging 3.5 assists per game. There really aren't a lot of gaudy numbers for this Christopher Newport team. They have so many blowout wins, the minutes have been spread out. So no one's putting up eye-popping stats. There's a turnover poked away from San Diego, and McAuliffe has it.
You don't want to pick it up right there. Morgan got away with one. You don't ever cross half court against a trapping team and pick up the basketball. We saw that last night. That was kind of the undoing of Lynchburg down the stretch.
Christina Harrell, feed inside. McAuliffe posting up against the shorter defender, but McInnes does as much as she can to prevent the easy shot.
McInnes giving up some inches out there, but got great length. Athletic, a lot of length there. Made it a little tough shot for Morgan. Not able to get that to go down.
Sandra Phan has had an excellent season shooting the 3, and she knocks that one down.
You see, I think it's the one player on the perimeter that you cannot lose. You cannot leave open. She's done it for a long time for Christopher Newport, and there's another turnover. And this is what Christopher Newport wants to do. Hit a shot, get in that pressure, and attack you.
5 straight points for Sandra Phan. First team all CAC 2 years ago. We are tied at 7.
Right now, Roanoke needs to continue to get the ball. That way, get it deep. The double team's still going to come. That's what you need to do. Keep attacking towards the basket. Harold just fell down on that one and leaves Phan for a chance at 3 in a row.
And she hits in transition. A 7-0 run from Sandra Phan. The captains have the lead.
Yeah, really fortunate right there because it looked like Brandstatter committed a foul.
Harrell blocked by Ing. And we'll get some subs here. Frenetic pace in the early going. Not unexpected with the way CNU plays.
Well, that's what you're going to see. Both teams are going to have to go to the bench. Both teams are deep, right? Both teams play lots of players in their normal rotation, so neither team should be at any kind of disadvantage with an up-tempo game. But you've got to have ball handlers on the floor. You've got to take care of the basketball. And can you, for 40 minutes, not have that 1-2-minute letdown where you commit about 4 turnovers in a row?
Peyton Kirchner, the freshman, posting up for the Maroons. Kick out to Hopson, who launches the 3 and hits.
And that's the Hopson three-pointer I don't mind right there. When she takes it within the offense. The ball went in, drew the defender. She got set up, shot it in rhythm, and that was a big shot for Whitney.
Jessica Foster, one of the all-time three-point shooting leaders for Christopher Newport, among the handful of players who just subbed in. Over to Jovia Winkie, who was excellent off the bench last night. Winkie into the corner, McInnes. Foster will try the 3. That's off, way off, in fact, with Jabria Haverkamp's hand in her face.
But if you see right there on those rotations, Haverkamp stands about 5'10", Rose Sandy about 5'10". They're on those shooters to make it a little bit tougher on the outside.
Take a breath. We've reached the under 5 timeout in the first quarter. It's a 1-point lead for Roanoke here in Salem. 10-9 Roanoke, 4:27 to play in the opening period. Maroon basketball after our media timeout. Off the press break, Kirchner fakes the pass, takes the layup, and scores.
And that's a good sign to see Peyton get going early. You know, young player, played volleyball, going to take some time to get into basketball shape. Sandy with a nice rebound there. But Kirchner's a player that Coach Flaherty really thinks can have some positive influence on this team and has the ability to score, as we saw in that last possession.
Everything but the finish that time for Whitney Hopson. And Foster brings it ahead for the Captains, who trail by 3. Good deflection there. Hopson into the passing lane.
Entering the game for the Captains, number 30, Katie Rader, number 55.
And I think you're going to see this a lot. Brandstatter or Hopson has to be on the floor at all times to give Roanoke College a ball handler. So Sayer just got a really quick breather so Whitney could go get hers. That's why she subbed her out right before that media timeout.
Captains force 32 turnovers per game. They don't turn it over that much, but they do on this occasion. It's up in the hands of Sandy. Head to Lauren Keel. Now Sandy spotting up for the open 3. It's short, follows the miss. The runner is up and good off the back iron.
Yeah, gave Christian Newport a taste of their own medicine. You see so many times the shooter for Christian Newport, when they know it's off, they go after it and get that offensive rebound. And that's what Rose was able to do there and push that lead to 5.
Katie Rader on the floor for CNU, away to Terwilliger. Here's Ing open in the corner. That's a long 2, but converts for Christopher Newport.
And you got to give up something, and you had to stop Terwilliger going to the basket. The double team came, and that left the open shot.
Haverkamp, nice use of the window.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. That's her game, that mid-range jump shot. She's got that. She knocks it down. Normally she just goes straight on, but that time used the glass to perfection.
Comes around to Winky. Winky driving in, draws some contact, and she'll head to the line.
Yeah, and right there, that's what we saw Winky do all night last night. She's going to attack the basket when she's out there. You've got to close out almost soft on her, dare her to take that outside shot because she wants to, even at 5'3", 5'4". She wants to take the ball to the rim almost every time she gets it.
4-time in double figures on the year with those 11 points against Lynchburg last night. Junior out of Orange County, Virginia. And with the pace we're expecting, both teams having played yesterday, expect frequent substitutions. I think we had 7 players just check in the game. What happens if one of us gets fatigued in the second half?
I don't know. I called the game by myself last night with Christopher Newport and Lynchburg, and I was out of gas at the end of that one.
Alkiza for 3, and Roanoke shooting the ball very well in the early going.
And that's what Roanoke didn't do yesterday. When you watched that Elizabethtown game yesterday and you kind of rethought it in your mind, I know Roanoke lost by 15 points. They gave up that 15-0 run in the third quarter, but they didn't play a bad basketball game. They just couldn't get an outside shot to fall.
Terwilliger posting up here, goes to the opposite side, but great defense by Morgan McAuliffe.
Just stay straight up, make her try and shoot it over the top of you. Nice spin dribble there. Here's a transition opportunity.
Hopson from the corner, that won't go. But the Maroons are 8 of 16 from the floor, even with that miss. They're 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. 7-point lead inside of 2 minutes left, first quarter. San Diego around the high screen, runs into traffic. Harrell impacting the shot. Alkiza grabs the loose ball. Comes a triple team on Hopson and throws it away. Now the Captains have an odd man rush. Fan out in front of the pack, scores in transition to make it a 5-point game.
Yeah, and I said it earlier when McAuliffe got across midcourt and picked up her dribble. You cannot, under any circumstances, get it across midcourt and pick it up. Once you cross midcourt, you're better off taking it all the way down into the corner. At least that gives you a reverse out of that double team versus doing it right on the other side of midcourt.
Last layup for Fane gives her 9 points out of the Captains' 14. 7 different players have scored for Roanoke. Sandy short on the 3, and it will belong to the Captains with 1:12 to go.
Yeah, nice set right there. Rose Sandy came off of a down screen opposite the ball, and the help side position wasn't able to rotate out to her. She got a clean look at a 3, just not able to knock it down.
Gabby San Diego taking care of the footwear issue. She's out there with Winky Simmons Fan and Hannah Kaloy, Sandy, Harrell, Alkiza, Brandstatter, and Hopson for the Maroons right now. Simmons from the elbow, driving in, layup, good. Her first bucket.
And that's almost identical play that they ran last year. We played, Christian Newport came here for an exhibition game last year. It came down to a one-possession game at the end. And they ran that exact play. They got the ball to Simmons at the right elbow. She boiled away the basket, scored, and they came away with a one-possession victory here last year in an exhibition game because Christopher Newport, due to the COVID and due to the pandemic, did not play any competitive games last year, but they were able to come, and it was a really exciting night here in the Kreger Center.
75-73 on that late three-point play for Simmons. She had 18. Terwilliger a double-double. Alkiza and Sandy, each with 16. Haverkamp had 14 for Roanoke. Fan unable to get around Harrell. Lob inside for Kaloy, and Hopson fouls her.
Yeah, you have to call that one. There was way too much contact. Pretty much they've allowed the body contact to happen, and if you've gotten any piece of the basketball, no matter if you've gotten the arm or the hand, they've kind of let it go, and they've been consistent with that this first 10 minutes. I'll be interested to see if the officiating will continue the same way throughout the rest of this afternoon.
Hannah Kaloy, the freshman from Herndon, a couple of 15-point games to her credit. Those came against William Peace and Meredith. A chance to pull C&U back within one.
Yeah, and doesn't give Coach Broderick the size that Terwilliger gives him, but what it does, it gives him another athlete on there who's long, who can play a post player, can step out and knock down an outside shot. I think she's going to be another good one down in Newport News.
They've had a bunch of them, all the success of this captain program in recent years. 6 unanswered for Christopher Newport. Harrell gets it across to Alkiza. Now Keel. Sandy was open, that ball slow to reach her.
Yeah, she was spotted up for the three. Keel thought she was going to go to the basket. I kind of agree with Lauren there. If she'd have cut to the basket, it would have been a wide open layup.
Only about a 1 second differential between the shot and game clocks winding down here at the end of the quarter. Nothing there for Harrell, but Alkiza open on the perimeter. Maybe not as open as we thought. And we have reached the end of the first quarter. Got a good one brewing here at the Susan Dunnigan Holiday Classic. After 10 minutes of action, it's Roanoke in front of number 6 C&U, 19-18. One-point lead for Roanoke, trying to hand Christopher Newport their first regular season loss in over 2 calendar years. Have to go back to December 28, 2019, when the Captains fell 70-65 against then number 1 Tufts at Stevens Tournament in Hoboken, New Jersey. But you've been impressed with what Carla Flaherty has done, the way the Maroons are breaking the C&U press. They only turned it over 4 times in the opening period.
Well, and for, if now you're on pace for 16 turnovers a game, that's what they had yesterday in that game. Lynchburg, I believe, turned it over 26-27 times last night, and it was only a 9-point game. So if you can get those turnovers down into the mid-teens, you've got an opportunity. But what they're doing is they're reversing the ball and then dribbling hard to half court, and that makes a whole lot of ground for those 3 players that are trapping to try and cover, and it gives you a lot of open lanes to get the ball across midcourt.
Sandra Fan leading all scorers with 9 points. Misses close range there. Follow won't go. That was Olivia Giles, and now we've got a C&U foul on this rebound.
And I like Fan. That's unusual there. You're usually not going to see Sandra Fan miss that shot from point-blank range. Very fortunate for Roanoke, but just like I talked about earlier, when the shooter misses for Christopher Newport, they go after the ball hard. That time, Brandstatter was able to secure it and draw the foul.
Brandstatter's in some trouble here, able to throw it off the leg of Winky to save the possession.
Yeah, you can't the corners, the four corners of the backcourt. You just can't throw the ball there because it gives you two extra defenders. And Roanoke got to do a better job of using the wide side of the floor like you see here. Now Alkeza's wide open if they can see it, but that's what happens. They get you playing so fast that you miss a wide open layup because you're just really fearing for that double team, maybe a triple team coming from behind.
Maroons can settle into their half-court set now. 7 different Roanoke players with at least one bucket in the opening period. Christina Harrell now with 6 points, and Roanoke leads by 3.
And I talked about it on the broadcast last night. You're going to play those guards, Winky, San Diego, Foster. You're talking 5'1", 5'2", 5'3". You're going to have to give up some plays in the post when you play man-to-man defense. And right now, Christina Harrell was able to take advantage.
San Diego splashes home a 3 to tie the score.
Almost lost a partner here. Jeremy just took one off the face. I think he's all right.
I'm okay.
All right, we're good.
I've been calling these games for 20 years, and I've never had one right in my head like that.
Hey, but Sandra Fan apologized.
She did.
She got her hands on it, and very polite there. Playing hard and being polite. You got to like to see that. But that's what you're going to see. These long passes look like they're going to be open, but Christopher Newport recovers so quickly.
Lauren Keel off the mark on the 3. Rebound hustled down by Whitney Hopson.
She can take her here. She can get around the corner. You've got the mismatch. Harrell needs to go post up. She had the mismatch.
Keel on the attack, but Terwilliger, such a presence down low.
Yeah, Winky had rotated over guarding Christina Harrell. That was a mismatch. Roanoke did not recognize it. Christina should have gone straight to the post. Lauren Keel could have vacated the area, taken Terwilliger with her, and Harrell would have had a one-on-one opportunity.
Foster in the corner. Skips it across to Jovia Winky. Shot clock under 10, and Harrell got a piece of Winky's arm. Free throws coming for CNU.
Yeah, Harrell did a great job until the last rotation. She got her feet tangled up a little bit, started falling backwards, reached that arm out, and got Winky for that foul.
First foul on Christina Harrell. And Winky back to the line where she split a pair in the opening period.
But she's the one player for Christopher Newport, when they swing it around the perimeter, is going to try and give you that head fake, see if you close out too hard and drive around you, just like she did on that play right there. Like I said, Harrell played it perfectly until her feet got tangled up right there at the very end.
CNU in front. Now a 2-point margin as Winky sinks both foul shots.
You got to get it in. Either go up the sideline quickly or reverse it quickly. They're going to have a layup if they get it down here.
Instead, it's a low block jumper that's way off for McAuliffe, and Simmons ahead of the pack at the other end.
Yeah, that's not the shot. You got to take it all the way into the paint and draw the defense, or take it up for the shot, or you've got to take it into the paint, draw the defender, and dish it off like we saw right there.
Haverkamp wanted the whistle, didn't get it.
Well, here, Roanoke being a little soft with the basketball. You've got to come down to a jump stop, give a head fake, and go up strong. Haverkamp tried to catch it and make an acrobatic shot instead of doing the fundamentally sound thing, which is come down, go up strong, use that 5'10", 5'11" frame, and lay it off the glass.
Kept her head up, though, ran back down on defense. She and Rose Sandy with the double team and the takeaway. McAuliffe called for steps at the other end, and as secure as we saw the Maroons be with the basketball in the first 10 minutes, different story early in the second quarter.
And that's why when you talk about it, you've got to be able to keep your focus. It's almost like playing a round of golf. You know, usually in basketball, it's these spurts. But when you're playing a team like Christopher Newport with the defense and the pressure they put on you, it's 2 full hours of keeping your focus. And sometimes that's hard to do when you're not used to playing that style.
Thank you for reminding me. I need 2 hours of keeping my focus. The press puts the broadcasters in danger, too. Terwilliger inside. Double team comes. Somehow hangs onto the ball. Got her own rebound after the miss as it comes back out for a Foster 3. That's no good, but Terwilliger again on the offensive glass, and this time she'll earn some free throws.
And the cardinal sin of playing good defense is playing good defense for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, but then not finishing off the possession by boxing out and securing the ball. And the ball just really fell in Terwilliger's hands. If she'd been boxed out, somebody had a body on her, Roanoke could have gotten that rebound and avoided these 2 potential points.
Terwilliger, 9.9 points, 5.7 rebounds per game, only averaging about 16 minutes because of the lopsided wins and the playing time being spread out for C&U. Second team All-CAC 2 years ago. Her first 2 points of this game coming at the foul line. It's a 9-0 Christopher Newport run as they are in front by 6. Alquiza the blow by and the score.
Yeah, and that's what happens if they can do that. That's why I said you want to take it down. You don't want to take that quick shot on the baseline. You want to attack the basket. And there they got out of position, and now Alquiza was able to capitalize.
I told you Terwilliger can hit that outside shot. She made 28 of them as a sophomore 2 years ago. The other in Haberkamp, nifty finish this time.
Much better job. That's what I talked about a couple of possessions ago. That time she came to a jump stop, she exploded straight up and laid it softly off the glass. Great job in transition.
C&U with the skip. Sandra Fan, good closeout by Harrell. Fan will attack. Harrell smothers that shot, and it's out off of Sandra Fan, Roanoke basketball.
And that's what happens when you continue to move your feet on defense. When you do not lock your knees and become a statue out there, you can have good things happen, and that's exactly what Christina Harrell did on that play.
104th career start for Christina Harrell, back for her 5th year in the Roanoke program. Here's Rose Sandy, great first move. Kaloy, though, with the recovery and the block.
And Sandy got away with a travel there in the corner. She kind of saw she wanted to make that drive to the basket and shuffled her pivot foot.
Julia Ing wide open underneath the basket. It's her second hoop, and the Captains lead by 7. Haverkamp shuffled her feet down low.
And that's the difference in athleticism going from Terwilliger to Kaloy. That time Kaloy able to come out on that jump stop where she was going to try and lay it off the glass. So nice job defensively, little adjustment that they made when they made their substitution for Christopher Newport.
An extended stretch of 14-4 in Christopher Newport's favor after they were down 3 earlier in this quarter. And there's a foul on the baseline. That'll be number 2 on Harrell.
Number 12, Christina Harrell, that's her second.
And that's dangerous because it messes up your rotation. Coach Flaherty had just taken 3 players out that needed a breather, and now Rose Sandy going to have to go right back on the floor, so not able to keep her normal rotation here. And you really don't want your senior leader on the bench in a game like this.
Foster away to McInnes, a deep 3, no good. Rebounded by Sandy, but she's tied up by Kaloy. It will be Maroons basketball on the alternating possession.
I mean, you can't take a breather. You can't think, okay, I've secured this rebound. I'm just going to turn around with it and hand it off to my point guard. You've got to take care of the basketball. You've got to be strong with it throughout each possession.
Sandy into the corner for Lauren Keel. Keel on the drive. Too strong that time. Kaloy was trying to sell a charge. And now the Maroons reset.
Yeah, actually tried to sell the charge, got in the way of her own teammate as far as being able to corral that rebound, gave Roanoke a second chance.
Randstad, top of the key. Shot clock at 6. Hopson on the cut and bumped there by Foster. That'll buy the Maroons some time.
Yeah, that's the first time that one of the Roanoke cutters has been able to get in front of the Christopher Newport player, and Foster had no choice if she was going to go for that steal but to foul.
We'll take a timeout, 4:45 to go first half. It's Christopher Newport in front by 7 here at the Kreger Center. Jeremy Franklin, Richie Wagoner back with you with the Susan Dunnigan Holiday Classic. Don't forget the final game of the tournament coming up at 7 o'clock. That'll be Lynchburg and Elizabethtown. Hornets who battled Christopher Newport last night will face off against the Blue Jays, who had that great third quarter and beat the host Maroons. Christopher Newport, an extended stretch, 14-4 in their favor. The Maroons looking for a basket out of the timeout. Instead, they will turn it over. CNU on the break. Foster's floater, no. McInnes the rebound. That won't go. And it's corralled here by Sandy. She's got Keel with her in a 2-on-1. Sandy takes it herself. Not the way they drew it up in the timeout, but the Maroons do get points, this time in transition.
You're really fortunate there. Came out of that timeout, made a bad pass. There's another fan three-pointer. You just can't leave her open. The closeout came just a hair late. But Roanoke able to get something out of it before giving up that three-pointer.
And we've got an offensive foul at midcourt. Going against the Maroons there. Whitney Hopson will pick up her second.
Yeah, now that's a tough situation now for Roanoke. You've got Hopson with 2. Brandstetter needs to catch a quick breather, so Whitney needs to prevent herself from picking up this third foul by about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, so that Brandstetter can get back in to finish this first half.
8-point lead for the undefeated captains. Inside for Terwilliger. Gets rid of it to Fan, who knocks down another three, her third of the game.
Yeah, and she's come here. She's making her shots. She's doing a good job defensively. She never quits out there. Right now, Roanoke just no answer for this pressure of Christopher Newport.
They got to get it across in a hurry. It's going to be a turnover one way or another, either thrown away or a 10-second call. The CNU pressure really starting to affect the Maroons.
And that's what happens. When one player is out of position on your press offense against this kind of pressure defense, you're at a huge disadvantage. And right there, because of the substitution patterns and having to put people in maybe that you didn't want at that time for Coach Flaherty, put herself in a bad position because there was absolutely nobody there for the reverse. They were all the way down here underneath the basket, and that can't happen.
Simmons fouled on the drive. That'll be the first on Alquiza, but it's the 5th team foul. So free throws coming for CNU.
And now they taking it to the basket, being aggressive offensively for Christopher Newport, starting to pay dividends. So now Harrell going to have to come in with those 2 fouls because you cannot have players out there that are out of position. You've got to continue to stay disciplined in this press breaker if you want to have a chance to trim into this lead.
Anaya Simmons, the junior out of Williamsburg, 12.8 points per game this season, shooting 64% from the field. She was named Rookie of the Year by the CAC, VASID, and D3Hoops.com for the Mid-Atlantic region back in 2019-20. And hits them both there. She's got half a dozen, and it's a 13-point Christopher Newport lead. And we have another player control foul, and that's 3 on Hopson.
And that, again, you're crossing half court against a triple team trap and picking up the basketball. You cannot do it. It doesn't work. And now Roanoke College finds themselves in a bad situation. Your starting point guard's got 3 fouls. Your senior leader's got 2. And you're down 13 points, and you still got 3 minutes before you can get in halftime and make any sort of significant adjustments.
Maroons had a 7-point lead in the first quarter. Went up by 3 by scoring on the opening possession of the second period. Simmons with the reverse in the bucket. Since that point, it is 24-6 in Christopher Newport's favor. Sabria Haverkamp pull up mid-range, way too strong. Even when the Maroons run a good set, their rhythm is off.
Well, and there's a situation where it doesn't go down as a steal, but it's a bad shot. You don't take that shot. It's a 1-on-4 situation, and you're taking a 15-footer, 12-footer, pulling up, trying to bank it in off the glass. Once you have beaten that pressure, get it back to the trailer, let them attack, or get it right back to you and attack the basket yourself.
Christina Harrell got the deflection on the baseline pass. Now McInnes spotting up corner 3. That's short. A tie up on the rebound between Haverkamp and Winky. It'll stay at this end.
And for the captain, number 24,
Olivia Giles returning for CNU out there with Winky, McInnes, Terwilliger, and San Diego. Right now it's McAuliffe, Harrell, Alquiza, Haverkamp, and Brandstetter for Roanoke. Olivia Giles can't get around Alquiza. Comes around to San Diego. Skip for McInnes. Now Winky drives in, gets to the rim. Layup won't go. Haverkamp's got it.
Nice job defensively that time. People moving their feet, but then if you're going to turn it right back over, I mean, the triple team came and everybody left Sayre Brandstatter. There was no way she could do anything with the basketball except for turn it over. Fundamentals right now starting to fall apart for Roanoke, and there's no way a team this athletic that plays the pressure that Christopher Newport plays can be beaten unless you out-fundamental them, and right now Roanoke's fundamentals aren't where they need to be.
Latest basket off a turnover scored by Felicia McInnes to make it a 17-point Christopher Newport advantage. 2:09 to play here in the second quarter. And a big turnaround for CNU. Roanoke turned it over only 4 times in the opening 10 minutes. Already 8 miscues in this period, and a total for the game of 17 points off turnovers. We just saw a 3-on-1. Turn it over that close to the other basket. Automatic points for CNU.
Well, 17 points off turnovers, and if my math's correct, that's what the lead is right now, and that's no coincidence. That's the style they play. They're going to trade you buckets for buckets, right? They're going to give you some buckets when you break the pressure and get wide open layups, but they know they're going to get them back when you turn it over and when they get easy layups on the other end. And there's a 18th turnover, I guess, now for Roanoke.
Inside 2 minutes to play first half. Traveling violation on Giles. It'll go back to Roanoke here. The Maroons just trying to right the ship going into halftime.
Well, that's all you need to do right now. I mean, you're not going to make up the 17-point deficit in a minute and 48 seconds. You need to win this last 2 minutes, and you're not going to do it by turning the basketball over.
Press continues to bother the Maroons. Terwilliger looking for another 3. That's no good. And now some numbers for Roanoke. Haverkamp away to Harrell for an easy 2.
And nice job by Haverkamp. Once she passed that ball, she came to a stop because San Diego was getting ready to flop right in front of us, realized that she didn't make contact with her, stayed on her feet, and just let the 2 be made.
Got a foul out front on Brandstatter. CNU in the bonus, so free throws for McInnes.
In the game for the captains, number 32, Anaya Simmons.
Felicia McInnes, senior out of Clarksburg, Maryland. First season as a full-time starter for Christopher Newport, averaging 6.5 points, just over 2 assists per game. 66 career makes from beyond the arc. And at the foul line this season, shooting just under 90%. And CNU has taken advantage of its opportunities at the line. Now 10 of 11. Roanoke has yet to shoot a free throw. Another make for CNU. McInnes now with half a dozen points. Boy, they just keep coming. You think you break the press getting into cross midcourt, and there's another double team.
Well, and the only way to beat that attacking defense is to attack it yourself. And if you start playing passive, they've got you right where they want you. And that's exactly what's happened in this stretch, or essentially this entire second period of play.
Final minute of the first half. Shot clock at 10 for Brandstatter and the Maroons. Brandstatter on the drive. Player control foul. Another charge drawn by the captains here.
And then she set up for it. You could see her setting up for it as soon as Sayre put the ball on the floor to go to the basket. Nobody else for Roanoke moving. So what they're doing is they're watching one person take the basketball and try and play one-on-one. Nobody else is moving. So even if she had gotten past that defender, there was another line of defense there and nowhere to go with the basketball.
2-for-1 chance perhaps for Christopher Newport. Corner 3 for McInnes is good.
And that's where she finally hit one, was in that deep left corner last night. And there's going to be another turnover for Roanoke. And, you know, the fans here are going to want a foul, but it's not. They're getting the ball handlers to go out of control. They're losing the basketball on their own.
McInnes with the last 7 Christopher Newport points. And another turnover.
Yeah, halftime can't get here fast enough for Coach Flaherty.
One last look for CNU. It's a Simmons 3. That won't go, but Christopher Newport did plenty of damage in the second quarter turning a 3-point deficit early in the period into a 22-point lead.
And right now, you just got to, the main thing is you got to go in there and you got to regroup. People have got to take a breath, because what's going to happen is you're going to go in that locker room as a coach. You're going to wait a few minutes. You're going to talk with your staff, talk about what you want to talk about. But those players are going to be in the locker room talking 1,000 miles an hour, because they're still going to be at that frenetic pace that they've been roped into. They've got to be strong with the basketball, calm themselves down, and try and chip away. Are you going to win? Who knows? But you can get back in this basketball game, because teams that play that kind of pressure, they live and die with you turning it over. If you don't turn it over, you've got a chance to go on a 10-point run. That's what Roanoke has to do now, settle down.
Captains looking every bit like an undefeated top 10 team in that second quarter. At the half here in the Susan Dunnigan Holiday Classic, Christopher Newport leads Roanoke 51-29. Welcome back inside the Kreger Center as we get the second half underway. Big lead for the undefeated top 10 captains of Christopher Newport. They dominated that second quarter to the tune of 33-10 on top of Roanoke 51-29. Maroons, such a good job of handling CNU's pressure in the first quarter, but it turned around in the second.
4 turnovers in the first quarter, 13 turnovers in the second, and that's what you're going to see when you do this. We talked about it earlier. What's the lead? 22 points. How many points do they have? 12 turnovers? 22 points. It's the way they play is absolutely predictable. All you have to do is look down on that points off turnovers, and that's usually going to be the margin that they have of victory.
Sandra Fan leading CNU with 15. Felicia McInnes has 9. Anaya Simmons 8. Christina Harrell with 8 points, and Renee Alquiza with 5 for Roanoke. But again, those 17 turnovers. 13 in the second quarter. Putting the Maroons in a deep, deep hole here as they try to rebound from the loss to Elizabethtown. Yesterday was a bad third quarter that did Roanoke in against the Blue Jays. Whitney Hopson, the early look at 3, won't go, and Anaya Simmons with the rebound.
And if you're Christopher Newport, you want Roanoke to take that shot because it leads to a lead-out opportunity and try and beat them down the floor in transition.
Fans entry pass intended for Simmons, and there's a Roanoke foul down low.
Number 30, Renee Alquiza, that's her second. Team first.
That'll be the second on Renee Alquiza. There's some foul trouble for the Maroons to contend with. Hobson has 3 personals. Alquiza joining Brandsetter and Harrell, each with 2. Gabby San Diego on the drive. That'll count, and a free throw coming.
And I believe it's going to be Hobson's 4th. And it was just an unnecessary foul. You had already gotten beaten to the basket, and then you reach from behind and pick up your 4th foul. It's not a good fundamental basketball play. And I know I harp on it a whole lot, but when you've got a team that's as athletic and plays as many players in the style that Christopher Newport plays, you've got to be fundamentally sound. And right now, Roanoke, not very fundamentally sound, and it's showing on the scoreboard.
San Diego, the free throw miss, but the captain still pressuring the ball. Here's Alquiza taking it in and drawing the foul against Terwilliger.
Nice job right there. She was a little hesitant to take it in there. She had beaten the defense down the floor, and she had an open lane to take it all the way into Terwilliger. I'd like to see her take it all the way into the body. That takes away the shot-blocking ability of the 6'2 post player. But Alquiza going to the free throw line for some much-needed points.
First free throws of the game for Roanoke. There were only 2 fouls called against Christopher Newport in that first half. That's point number 6 for Alquiza, all ODAC performer last season. Hard to believe that was her first all-conference honor. She has been such a significant player for this Roanoke program across her career. The senior from Cornelius, North Carolina. Never wows you with the numbers, but she can do so many different things on the court.
Well, when I saw her as a freshman, I was still at Hollins at the time, and they came over her freshman year, and when they played us over there, she was extremely sound. She was solid. She could do a little bit of everything. She had a nice mid-range game at that point. She's now extended that to the three-point line. She could finish around the basket. She had good size, good length, block shots, was able to rebound, and I thought she was going to continue to get better and better. She's not a real aggressive player, and so she lets the game come to her, and so sometimes she gets overlooked when it comes to other players who go out there and play with a lot of aggressiveness and attack the rim, and that's really what's happened. She's been one of the better players in the league for each of the last 4 years.
Through the foul there against Anaya Simmons, her first personal. 22-point margin. Each team with 1 basket here in the second half so far. Alquiza fending off Simmons. Now Harrell going inside for McAuliffe. Brandstatter corner 3, that's good.
And that's what you want to see. Like I said, the outcome of this game is probably not going to be in doubt. But what you want to see Roanoke do is exactly what they did there. They absorbed the pressure, they took care of the basketball, they ran a nice set and got a clean look.
McInnes missing the 3, but Harrell not able to corral the rebound.
Yeah, McInnes, she's just been off each of these 2 games that we've seen her play. A much better outside shooter. She's got really good form. She just can't seem to see one go down.
Sarah Brandstatter can empathize and sympathize. That was the game yesterday for Brandstatter, but she's hit a couple here today. Those slumps in eventually for good shooters.
So shooters need to shoot.
Shot clock under 10. San Diego calls the play from midcourt. High ball screen. Now the dish to Sandra Fan, who is 4 out of 4 from three-point range in this game.
And despite the turnovers and the aggressiveness, Roanoke has had absolutely zero answer for Sandra Fan here this afternoon.
Not many teams do. That's knocked out of bounds. Fan was the Rookie of the Year in the CAC as a freshman at 18-19. Approaching 1,000 career points. She has gone over 900 in this game. 120 makes from three. Career 41% shooter from beyond the arc. What a move by Christina Harrell.
And that's the ability that Christina has. She can take you to the basket. She finishes. She knows how to get that shot off. Even though she's not the tallest player out there on the floor, she went over a taller McGinnis that time.
Anaya Simmons posting up. Good defense by Alquiza initially, but Simmons sticks with it.
Yeah, she's just so strong, so athletic. She never quits on a play. And right there, Alquiza did a good job on the first possession, but Simmons just pretty much knocked her to the floor, took it away, and finished at the rim.
Anaya Simmons, the third captain into double figures. Band is up to 18. McInnes had 11 first-half points. Simmons now with 10. Last bucket for Christina Harrell gives her 10. CNU liberally using its bench. Just brings in 4 fresh players as McInnes stays out there.
And that allows them to continue this pressure over and over and over, and it just becomes relentless after a while.
Haverkamp inside, nothing doing. And Ing with the rebound. And maybe one of the most remarkable stats for Christopher Newport. They have only 2 players averaging over 20 minutes per game, and just barely that. Part of that is all the blowout wins, but even in the games that are competitive, like we saw with Lynchburg last night, they had a 3-point win against Gettysburg early. They go deep. They go 10, 11, 12 deep to continue to play that up-tempo, high-pressure style. Kaloy, another one of the subs in there, back out to Foster. You got a player who is 4th all-time and made 3-pointers at Christopher Newport, and you bring her off the bench.
Absolutely.
There's Foster away to McInnes. Got to get something up here. That will not go. But it's McInnes who ends up with the rebound.
And that was Kaloy there. Did a really good job of not quitting on the play. The body was there, but contact wasn't made by the Roanoke defender. No box out came, and Kaloy was able to keep it alive. And Christopher Newport capitalized on that extra possession.
Nice dish by Foster. The hoop for McInnes, 60-36. With 6:22 left here in the third. Harrell in from McAuliffe. Is looking for a foul there, didn't get it.
Well, because she didn't take it into the basket. She just turned and shot the basketball. If she took one power dribble and went to the rim, the contact would have occurred.
CNU bench making some really nice plays. This time it's Winky on the feed to Kaloy. Haverkamp answers.
And that's what you have to do. When your team plays the defense that Christian Newport plays, you have to attack that offensively. And by attacking, you have to go all the way to the rim.
McInnes another missed 3. And then Alquiza emphatically rejects Winky. 2-on-1 for Roanoke. Well executed Harrell with the feed to McAuliffe.
Nice job. Harrell to the jump stop. Allowed McAuliffe to fill that weak side lane, and an easy basket for Roanoke.
Baseball pass from McInnes. There's a look for Foster, but that won't go. Captains did not shoot well from the outside against Lynchburg last night. Outside of Fan, they really have struggled from distance in this game as Haverkamp is fouled at the other end.
And that's what's going to be open. When you get a rebound, if you chin it and square up down the floor, you can get the ball to half court and have a transition opportunity. Great recognition by Brandstetter there led to a free throw opportunity for Haverkamp.
For the captains, number 21, Hannah Orloff.
First foul on Felicia McInnes. And Jabria Haverkamp heading to the line. Had an 18-point game in an ODAC win over Hollins this season. Really coming on strong at the end of last year. 14 points was her previous career high. That came against Lynchburg in the ODAC championship game. Total of 3 double-figure scoring efforts this year for the junior from Ashland. 7 points in this game. And make it 8 as that one hopped a few times off the back iron. Trims the margin down to 20.
And she came in for Hopson when Whitney picked up her 4th foul, and a nice rotation that time for Haverkamp. Now give her a breather, give her about 2 minutes out, see if she can come back and recapture that magic. She's playing much more under control and attacking here in the 3rd quarter than she did there in the 2nd.
Fan and San Diego back in the game for CNU. Trading passes along the perimeter. The shot clock is down to 6. San Diego will take it in, dish out to Fan, another 3. Fan a hand in her face that time and still hits.
Well, Roanoke played about as good a half-court defense for 25 seconds as you can possibly play, and Fan backed up 2 feet, and instead of shooting the 20-footer, shot it from about 23-24 and knocked it down once again.
5 out of 5 from 3 for 21 points total. Sandra Fan. Here's Lauren Keel, spin move, but that won't go.
That was unfortunate. That was a really nice move. He just had no weak side rebounding help. She was able to get in deep into the basket, just couldn't get it to fall.
Turnover forced by Harold. Didn't get the clean steal, but she forced Katie Rader to travel.
That's going to lead us to the media timeout. Roanoke still trailing by 20-plus points, but playing much better basketball here in this 3rd period.
We'll take a break. Stay with us for more coverage of the Susan Dunnigan Holiday Classic from the Kreger Center. .3-point lead for Christopher Newport, the under 5 timeout here in the 3rd quarter. We talked about the winning streak for the Captains going for 30 in a row, which would tie the program record. But they're winning games when it counts, too, not just in the regular season. 5 straight Sweet 16 appearances. They reached the national semifinals back in 2017. Mary Washington, I think, was it for a while. Randolph making it in there as well. But in terms of D3 basketball in Virginia, CNU is the team to beat right now.
Well, Christopher Newport, I mean, they've always been one of the better teams in the state. And you can sit there and you can say, well, they're a public school. The tuition's a whole lot less than it is a lot of the other private schools in the state. It's a little advantage that they and Mary Washington have. It's why what Roanoke did early in the 90s and what Randolph-Macon did in the early 2000s was really special when you're able to do that at a private institution. But Christopher Newport, they continue to reload year after year after year. It doesn't matter who's coaching it. It doesn't matter who's playing. They get good athletes. They play this up-tempo style, and it's a fun style that players like to come and play.
Breaking news, Sandra Fan just missed a 3-pointer. She might be human. She was 5 of 5 before that. What a game for the senior, former conference rookie of the year, first team all-CAC selection. Keep saying CAC, that is not a thing anymore, the Capital Athletic Conference. It's accurate to say that they were all CAC a couple of seasons ago, but the CAC has evolved into the C2C. And Christopher Newport playing a wild kind of schedule. As we got a tie-up after the missed jump shot. That'll send it back to the Captains. Mary Washington and Salisbury still in Christopher Newport's conference, but they have added schools all over the country. Hence the name UC Santa Cruz, out west, Finlandia in Michigan, Mount Mary in Wisconsin, Pratt in New York. You don't play everybody in the regular season, just depending on how you can arrange that schedule, but it means more non-conference games and just filling in gaps in the schedule any way you can.
But really not a lot of difference when they were in the USA South. When the USA South had 14 teams, you had a lot of teams way down in the deep South, and you had a lot of teams here in Virginia and North Carolina. They did a similar thing. You'd play everybody within a couple hundred miles of you, you would play, and then those two teams, the two teams that would win those divisions would match up in the finals.
Bucket there for Hannah Orloff. This is game number 3 in a stretch of 9 straight away from Newport News for Christopher Newport. In fact, only 8 total home games on their schedule. They've already played 6 of them. They get Mary Washington coming to the Freeman Center at the end of January and Salisbury in the regular season finale in February. Going to get some miles in.
Well, they really have to, because you talked about their conference now being as spread out as it is. It's not like you're in the ODAC and you can get 16, 18 conference games within an easy van ride. So because the USA South is so big, the ODAC is so big, the conferences that you would normally play, the CAC doesn't exist anymore. You really don't have anyone to play because everyone's schedules are so full. They only get maybe 6, 7 out-of-conference games, and it's hard to fill those.
Katie Rader hitting the 3 to put CNU up 28. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Roanoke. Christopher Newport has a trip to New York in January. They are also going to play a couple of those conference teams in the Midwest, Mount Mary and Finlandia back-to-back in early February. They will get a game against UC Santa Cruz at Mary Washington mid-February. And then the C2C tournament is at the home of the Banana Slugs out in Santa Cruz later in the month of February. Transition chance for Giles, no good, cleaned up by Hannah Orloff.
Yeah, right now, whether it's fatigue or just breakdowns for Roanoke, no boxing out, not going after the rebounds. Christopher Newport really now has everything going in their favor, and Roanoke just really trying to hang on for the end of this one.
5-second violation is the 20th turnover of the game for the Maroons. And CNU has stretched the lead out to 30. Minute 26 left in this third quarter. Orloff misses the turnaround, fights for the rebound, and the putback is good. She's got 6 quick points off the bench.
And didn't even play last night. You got a player that's come in averaging over 6 points a game. Didn't even play last night in the Lynchburg win. And now that's just another weapon that Coach Broderick has to go to on his bench.
Brandstatter at the other end. Giles bit for the shot fake and came down on the shoulder. Brandstatter.
Number 24, Olivia Giles. It's her first, team fourth.
Fourth team foul last to give for the captains in the period. Down to 58.9 seconds. McAuliffe in the high post. Orloff defending. McAuliffe hits the cutter. Sarah Brandstatter for 2.
Nice job there. Didn't quit on the play, attacking, running their offense. I saw them executing the exact plays that they were working on in their shoot-around this morning. And that's good to see. You know, you're down really big. It's so easy to kind of give up at this point, but still a lot to learn out for these Maroons. A lot of basketball left to play this season.
Orloff travels this time, but really wants the basketball down low. The freshman from Howell, New Jersey.
Nice job defensively. When you don't bend over and reach in, when you stand your ground, when you stay low, you stay strong, you keep your hands up, you can play really good defense. And that was a nice job. Brandstatter came over with a double team to get that turnover.
Brandstatter in trouble, gives it up in the corner. McAuliffe got it back for Roanoke, called for traveling as she went down with the ball.
And the game for the captains, number 14, Julia Hobbs.
Shot clock is off here with 22 seconds left in the period. Julia Hobbs back in for CNU. Foster out front. Brandstatter went for the steal. That leaves Foster open. Can't convert on the 3.
Yeah, I think the officials missed one there. Foster not only changed pivot feet, she moved both feet at the same time. Should have been a travel.
Miss in transition for the Maroons. I believe we had a foul on the rebound. And indeed, Alex Sleep has the personal against Rose Sandy, her first. It is the 5th team foul, so that means free throws at the other end for Olivia Giles.
Yeah, this was a big 2-day stretch for Roanoke College. You start the season 8-0. You've reached and you've gotten a little bit of recognition, starting to get ranked, getting close to that top 25, about 29th or 30th in the last 2 WBCA and D3Hoops.com polls. So you wanted to kind of see where you were against some of the better teams in the nation, not just in your conference. And Roanoke is going to have to go back to the drawing board. There's some things that they're going to need to work on if they want to have aspirations of playing deep into March.
Couple of free throw misses there. Brandstatter gets into trouble again. Alkiza, that'll count if it goes, but too strong, and we will head to the fourth quarter with Christopher Newport eyeing a 30th straight win and up by 30 on the scoreboard. 74-44 Captains. Will come right back to Salem. Back inside the Kreger Center, Christopher Newport in front 74-44 as we begin the fourth period. Game 1 of 2 here on the second and final day of the Susan Dunnigan Holiday Classic. Lynchburg and Elizabethtown will tip off about 30 minutes after we're done with this contest. Got a foul on the interior against Julia Hobbs of the Captains.
Number 14, Julia Hobbs, her first, team first.
Sonder Fan spectating right now, but 21 points for CNU. McInnes 13, Simmons 10. Christina Harrell, the only maroon in double figures with 10, 8 apiece for Brandstatter and Haverkamp, 7 for Alkiza. This is Rose Sandy on the attack, and that shot smothered by Katie Rader.
Yeah, she tried that fadeaway, the spin away from the defender instead of putting her shoulder into the body and getting rid of that length. When I talk about that, getting rid of the length, you've got to put your body into that shot blocker to eliminate that reach. And right there, Rose tried a little spin move and a fadeaway, and it was an easy block for Rader.
Roanoke basketball now with 9:26 to go. CNU still running the full court defense. A lot of reserves in the game now. Haverkamp feed to Alkiza, who will shoot 2.
But that press breaker right there, that's exactly what we were talking about 45 minutes ago in that first quarter when Roanoke had that 7-point lead. You get the ball in, you reverse it quickly, and you attack it down the sideline. It's going to give you a 3-on-1, 3-on-2 opportunity almost every time. They went away from that, and that kind of dug them this big hole that they found themselves in.
Point number 8 there for Renee Alkiza. ODAC Player of the Week earlier this month after 2 great games against the 2 Hornets in the league. Got both free throws that time in the ODAC Championship rematch win against Lynchburg. Had 19-point shots, 73% from the field. She had 14 points in the other game that week, the victory over Shenandoah.
Well, and she was lights out. I went down to Lynchburg to watch that one, and she hit either 5 or 6 3-pointers and was able to create some space between Roanoke and Lynchburg the whole time. And the score, Roanoke actually dominated that game a lot more than the final score showed.
69-58 win. Bucket for Giles at one end. McAuliffe is fouled at the other.
But that's a good sign. You're still attacking the basket, and that's what you have to do against this kind of pressure. There's still lots to learn. You've got 9 minutes to play against one of the better teams in the country. You have an opportunity to come out here and at least get a little bit of this bad taste out of your mouth going back into ODAC play. I guess got one more non-conference game, the Hood game that got canceled in the first tournament, the Gene Beamer Classic back in November. Hood was unable to make the trip. They're going to make up for that. They're going to come down and play on Sunday at 2 p.m. here in the Kreger Center.
Morgan McAuliffe, 11 points last night against Elizabethtown. Her 5th time in double figures on the season. Been a quiet game for the junior from Allendale, New Jersey today. That's just her 4th point. Maroons are 8 of 8 at the foul line now. Rader, the drive and the finish.
2 points.
Look at all these players that average 5 or 6 points a game, and you get the feeling that they could get a lot more than that if this CNU team wasn't so deep.
Well, and that's one of the things when you run the style the CNU runs and you get the talent that they have. It's almost like Kentucky men's basketball. You've got to have players that are willing to sacrifice for the good of the team, players that could go elsewhere and average 14, 15, 16 points a game, and they come to Christopher Newport. They know they're going to win a lot of games. They're going to have a chance to play deep into the NCAA tournament, and they make those sacrifices.
Christina Harrell with the 3 for Roanoke. A miss for Lexi White of the captains. Fighting hard on the glass, though. It's Javiah Winkie who gets fouled on the second chance attempt.
Number 20, team first in the game for the Maroons, number 10, Peyton Kirsten, number 20.
So free throws for Winkie, who is 3 of 4 at the line in this game.
On the line for the captains, number 22, Javiah.
Talking with Carla Flaherty before the tournament started about bringing in 2 high-level teams, Elizabethtown, the pedigree that program has, and of course we've run through what Christopher Newport has accomplished in recent years. The idea is that you want to be that type of program to be competing on the national stage. You have to play those types of teams. If the Maroons hang their heads after the way the last couple of days have gone, it doesn't mean anything. But if they learn from these games, if they can grow from playing these 2 high-level opponents, it'll really help them once they get back to the conference schedule.
And that's where they need to get to. If you want to get back to the national scene where we were back, where Roanoke College was back in the 90s, if you want to get back into that national scene, you've got to not only win the ODAC, but you've got to go out and play other teams out of conference that are going to make you better, because if you get to March, these are the teams that you're going to see.
Nice hoop by Peyton Kirchner. Now we've got a timeout. We will take a short break. 26-point advantage for CNU with 7:43 to go. Back to action after the Christopher Newport timeout. On the floor right now for CNU, Winkie, Rader, Orloff, Kaloy, and White. For the Bruins, it's Sandy, Heel, Hopson, Harrell, and Kirchner throws Sandy off the steal, misses the fast break bucket. Harrell with the rebound and a CNU foul. That'll put the Maroons in the bonus.
Nice shot right there. Roanoke was able to get the rebound, advance it down the court quickly, not let the traps come. And Rose got a clean look at a shot, wasn't able to convert it, but Roanoke didn't give up on the play, attacked the rebound hard. Christina Harrell now a second chance and going to go to the stripe.
And the captains are coming back with their starting 5.
Yeah, Coach Broderick not happy with the way that his reserves were playing. And if you've got aspirations that they have, you've got to continue to play a full 40 minutes. And it doesn't matter who's out there on the floor. You talk about the depth that they have, the different players, and the minutes that they're playing. If you're not playing the way he wants you to play, the way that they need you to play to get where they want to go, you're going to have to take a seat.
Christina Harrell has not missed a shot in this game, 6 of 6 from the field, including the 3 she made a moment ago. Just knocked down a couple of free throws, and the answer comes from Anaya Simmons. Press break this time for the Maroons. Sandy will fire up the 16-footer and connect.
You're going to get open looks if you continue to get the ball in, reverse it to the other side of the floor. You can get it down and you can get some clean looks. Not so sure that was the best shot to take, but it went in and you'll take it at this point.
Sandy now with 6. It's a 24-point game inside Terwilliger against Sandy. Layup up and good.
Yeah, there was a switch that came, and Sandy was a little bit late getting there. And once she saw she was behind Terwilliger, really the better part of that is just not pick up the foul.
Gill's pass deflected out. It'll remain with the Maroons. As Julie Ing replaces Terwilliger, McAuliffe, Brandstetter, and Alkiza all checking back in the game for Roanoke with 6:32 to play.
14, Morgan McAuliffe, and number 30, Renee Alkiza.
Hopson battling foul trouble in this game. Had a couple of player control fouls. That did not help. McInnes knocks that away right into the hands of Ing.
Great defense. She got beat on the play, but she never quit on it. Used her length to knock that pass away. Another nice defensive stop for the Captains.
They will slow it down at least for a moment. Run one of their half-court sets. Captain team that's shooting just under 49% from the field. Yes, they get easy buckets in transition. They can be pretty efficient when they have to slow it down. Shot clock winding down. Sandra Fan short on the three. She's missed a couple after making her first five. Hopson at the other end, nifty little pass. Leads to an easy hoop for Harrell.
Nice shot, but this is what Christopher Newport needs to do. You know that they can turn you over and score in transition. Can they, when they need to, play good half-court basketball? Because in March, there are going to be possessions, there are going to be games where you have to go and you have to execute on the half-court, and that's one of the reasons he's got his starters back out here so he can work on something. You're always coaching, you're always teaching, no matter what the score is.
Bill Broderick's winning percentage, pretty astounding, 837, 10th year with the Captains, 210 and 41. As McInnes finally gets one to go.
And he's had a much better game here today. He hasn't gotten near the 50% mark, but has done a really good job of playing good defense, taking the shots that come to her. And Coach Broderick was talking to her last night, telling her to continue to shoot when she was having that bad shooting night. And that's what a good coach does. You want to continue to tell your players you're doing exactly what you need to do. Continue to do that.
Hopson banking into 3, 16 for McInnes tonight. That's a new career high. Had tied her previous mark with 13 against Southern Virginia. 4 times she's been in double figures this year. Quick exchange with Fan. Now Simmons, shot clock winding down, sees an open lane and converts.
And that's the half-court offense I would run. If you have to play a half-court offense, you get the ball in the hands of Simmons. She's a mismatch. She's such a physical presence out there. A little flop in front of us. But she's such a physical presence that she can attack the basket. She can put it on the floor, get there, absorb contact. And when you need a chance to get to the basket, she's going to be able to provide it for you in the half-court.
4 minutes remaining. Christopher Newport breaking this game open with a huge second quarter, and they have not let Roanoke back in the contest here in the second half. Fan, that's a long 2, but it's good. She's got 23.
And that was all because of what Simmons did the possession before when she put her head down and drove past the defender to the basket. You have to respect that. And this time the double team came and she found Sandra Fan for a wide open 16-footer.
Big block at the other end. McInnes wants 3 more, and she's got it. And Bill Broderick, I think, got what he wanted from his starters. He's going to swap in 5 fresh players on the other side of a timeout here. And we will take a short break as well. 3:27 to go, and Christopher Newport in front by 31. Big lead for Christopher Newport, about to win its 13th game in as many tries this season and tie the program record with a 30th consecutive victory. Roanoke, a couple of setbacks here in their home tournament, but hoping to learn from those games. As you mentioned, Richie, they've got Hood on Sunday, then it's back to ODAC play And the Maroons, one of 3 teams without a conference loss so far. Roanoke and Randolph-Macon both 4-0. Washington and Lee is 3-0. Going to be an interesting league season to see how things unfold. The Maroons get those 2 teams back-to-back, by the way, in mid-January. They've got WNL here on the 12th on a Wednesday night, then a trip to Ashland on Saturday. In between, trip to Bridgewater, never an easy place to play. They go to a much-improved Randolph team as well.
Well, I think that trip is just as difficult. You've got a Bridgewater team that was the number one seed last year, wasn't able to compete in the ODAC tournament due to some pandemic protocols. But they were a really solid team last year. Coaching change coming in now, but Randolph has made huge strides. Hollins, we just played them before the break, another team that you historically see at the bottom of the rankings that's working their way up in the top of the rankings. So the ODAC's going to be tough. Roanoke, like you talked about, what they got to do now is they can't hang their head on this, because you take this, you learn playing against this kind of physicality, this kind of athletes, and you transfer it when you play the ODAC teams. And if you do that, there's some positive things that can come out of this.
First points of the game for the sophomore Lauren Keel. Giles missing down low. Inside of 3 minutes left. Christopher Newport will continue their road trip, and Mary Baldwin on Tuesday. 3-pointer knocked down by Peyton Kirchner, who's got 7 points.
Kirchner left wide open outside the 3-point line, knocked down the 25-footer. She's got that range. Like talked about earlier, she just really needs to work herself into basketball shape coming from the volleyball court to the hardwood. She's got a chance to be one of those players that can come off the bench and give you a spark. Lauren Keel, talked about her just getting her first basket tonight, but been playing much better, giving Roanoke even more depth, and that's what's going to help them come conference time.
Second game tonight coming up half an hour after we're done. That's Lynchburg and Elizabethtown. We saw very impressive performance by the Blue Jays against Roanoke yesterday, and Lynchburg down 1 point to CNU with over 6 minutes to play before a late run allowed the Captains to win by 9. Should be a good one.
Lynchburg played a tremendous game last night against Christopher Newport. They did the things that we've talked about. They took care of the basketball. Lizzie Davis did a really good job of taking care of the basketball against this pressure, and the vetters, Brooke and Meredith, were able to get out in transition, get some easy baskets. What Lynchburg has that Roanoke doesn't is those pair of 6-footers that they can put inside and kind of neutralize Terwilliger and some of the size of Christopher Newport. But when Lizzie Davis picked up her 4th foul and went to the bench, a 1-point game became a 9-point game in about 45 seconds.
E-Town, meanwhile, a really good basketball team. They opted out of last season. They only had 3 players with previous varsity experience prior to this year, but it helps when one of those is Veronica Christ, who had 25 last night.
And she's tremendous. She does everything. She rebounds, she passes the basketball, she plays good defense, and of course, she can put the ball in the basket. She was a huge difference yesterday in taking those younger players, because Elizabethtown has had that pedigree, hasn't played in about a year and a half the way you would think they would. They've got a young team, and she's a tremendous leader. They're going to continue to get better and better as well.
Kirchner, layup not there, and the rebound tracked down by Lexi White as we hit the 2-minute mark here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, everything but the finish. Nice job by Peyton. She used a little up and under, was able to create a little bit of space, just rushed the shot hard off the glass.
Orloff going back to work on the inside, draws the foul. And Orloff, 6 points in the 3rd quarter. We're talking about players who are used to seeing a lot of the basketball, a lot of playing time. Hannah Orloff's high school career, over 1,200 points, 927 rebounds, 193 blocks for Freehold Township. Comes in as a role player on this Christopher Newport team, but we're seeing what she's capable of here in the second half.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, did not play last night. Don't know the reasoning for that, but she's come in here today, and she's done some really good things. She's got really good size, really good length. She's a good athlete. She can finish around the basket. It just gives Christopher Newport yet another weapon.
Averaging 6.5 per game. She's got 7 tonight. (94-68) with 1:45 remaining. And we have players getting tangled on that entry pass, and the whistle going against the Captains.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a gift there. Raider was fronting Sandy in the post, the pass came, and it was actually short. It went right into Rader's hand, but they're going to say her offhand had Sandy hooked around the waist.
Rose Sandy, 7 points and 5 rebounds tonight, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Front end is good. Missed 5 games early in the season, got back on the court in the win over Lynchburg. Player who poured in 21 points against Shenandoah in the ODAC tournament last year. And hits both free throws.
Yeah, she's still working her way back into basketball shape. Had to miss almost a month of action after a good start to her junior campaign, kind of finishing off that season that she had a year ago. But she's getting back in shape, and that's going to help Roanoke more and more as they move forward in the conference play.
Lexi White with the layup. 96-70 in the captain's favor. And then White helps force another turnover, and Rader is fouled.
Yeah, there again, Roanoke getting a little loose with the basketball, not executing the press breaker the way they need to. And that's just going to lead to easy opportunities, easy steals, another turnover, and now free throws for Rader.
Junior out of York, Pennsylvania. Had a 17-point game, career high against Goucher. That's one of 4 games, the win over Goucher, in which CNU has scored 100 this season. They are getting close to that mark with 1:13 to play. Free throw misses will keep him at 96.
Yeah, and it becomes a pride thing eventually when you get somebody close to that 100 mark. You know they want to get it. And it becomes a pride thing for the team on the short end of that, trying to keep that team from scoring 100 points.
Orloff with the block on Kirchner. Roanoke basketball with exactly 60 seconds remaining.
There's still 17 seconds on the shot clock. Kirchner's done a good job. This is a great experience for her to get in here and play against these kind of athletes and these kind of size, because she's got good size at 6'1", has the opportunity to finish around the basket, and we saw earlier has three-point range as well.
That's player control foul on Lauren Keel as possession goes back to the captains.
Yeah, she just took it one dribble too far. Did a good job getting in the lane. Was just trying to make that spin move to get to the basket. The help came over and drew the player control foul.
Jessica Foster running the point right now for CNU. Rader in the corner. Now Foster spotting up for 3. Cans it.
3 points, Jessica Foster.
And they're going to get their opportunity, continuing to press here in the last seconds. Going to finally call that off and pull it back. About a 5-second differential between the shot and game clock. So if you're Roanoke, really don't want to take this shot too early. You want to execute here and get a good look.
And that 3 for Foster, the 138th of her career. Fast break chance. She looks up at the clock and will pull it back out. But then a foul out front by Kirchner will be the 5th on the Maroons, so Foster will get some free throws.
Yeah, and Foster, that's just a freshman mistake right there. Foster pulled the ball out. She was just going to dribble out this last 12 and a half seconds, and Kirchner encroached on her, made the contact. The officials had to make the call.
Foster made 79 three-pointers as a freshman back in 2018-19, 9 in a game against St. Mary's for her career-high 27. And she gets the captains to triple digits for the 5th time on the season.
And the 3 she just knocked down was absolutely pure. She caught it, stepped into her shot, nice rotation, and buried it.
One last look for the Maroons, who will try to shake off these 2 games here in the home tournament. When they return to action Sunday against Hood. That 3 is off the mark for Madeline Duran, and that'll do it. Christopher Newport looking every bit like an undefeated top 10 team. They tied the program record with their 30th consecutive victory. They're now 13-0 here in 2021-22. 23 from Sandra Fan, 19 from Felicia McInnes, 14 from Simmons. Bunch more players got involved. The Maroons got 17 from Christina Harrell, 9 each from Alkiza and Sandy, 8 apiece from Brandstetter and Haverkamp. But Christopher Newport, with that full court pressure, really got to Roanoke starting around the first minute or 2 of the second quarter, never let up.
Well, Roanoke did exactly what they needed to do coming out of the gate. They got the ball, they slowed it down, they were able to execute, attack it with their press breaker, not turn the basketball over, only 4 turnovers there.